right, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rachachorash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, Wah, Akwa, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. Another video through the Spirit. Your brother Malat from GMS Detroit. Once again, another lesson. This one right here, called one of this video. Esau believes that if you use some sort of well thought out, comprehensive preparedness plan, you can potentially survive a nuclear missile detonation, in your city. Now, what do the scriptures say? All right, and in this video in particular, it focuses on America, right? Which conveniently, coincidentally, the scriptures also let us know that America is going to get touched by thermonuclear fire in the World War III event at the climax. Now, do the scriptures say there's anything you can do to survive it manually of yourself? No. So these devils know that war is on the verge. They're trying to give the people hope, but this ain't a Hollywood movie. Tom Cruise ain't coming. Vin Diesel is not coming. My man, I always fuck his name up. Ben, Die Hard series. I always fuck his name up, man. Excuse me. Bruce Willis, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger, all the famous action heroes, none of them are coming to save you. If you are not of the elect and you don't get beamed up in a chariot, you're going to be completely destroyed in America. That is the prophecy. Let's start with that. Actually, it doesn't say anybody's going to be able to survive here. All right, because the way that they try to take it in this video, if you don't get immediately destroyed in the blast, if you happen to be far away enough, this is what you got to do to survive the nuclear fallout. Man, fuck out of here. The scriptures don't say that. All right, let's go to. I'm gonna actually get it from. There's all different kind of famous places, but let's start here. Let's get it. If you didn't know, now you know. Let's go to. Zephaniah. Right here we go. This is the same prophecy, just from another angle. Revelation, Isaiah, Jeremiah. We see that there's a land that's going to get absolutely destroyed, and the only thing that's going to be able to inhabit it is desert animals, and that's after, a great time period, y'all. All right, Zephaniah 2:13, it says, "And he will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria, and will make Nineveh a desolation and dry like a wilderness, and flocks shall lie down in the midst of her. All the beasts of the nations, both the cormorant and the bittern, shall lodge in the upper lintels of it. Their voice shall sing in the windows, desolation shall be in the thresholds, for he shall uncover the cedar work. This is that rejoicing city that dwelt carelessly, that said in her heart, I am, and there is none beside me. How will she become a desolation, a place for beasts to lie down in? Everyone that passeth by her shall hiss and wag his hand." Ancient Assyria is not a desolation. People still live there. It's not inhabited by, desert creatures. All right, the other scriptures we're going to go to. There's one place that is prophesied to be absolutely knocked off the map by fire and be uninhabitable. Come on now, Joel 2:3. "A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth." This is describing the missiles, right? At the warhead, the fire in the front, and behind it, the fire is kicking out the exhaust to keep it propelled. It says, "The land is as the Garden of Eden before them," so before it touches down, everything's fine. "And behind them a desolate wilderness, and nothing shall escape them." Once again, nothing shall escape. Let's go now. No escape. Exactly. Bingo. No fucking escape, y'all. Ain't no escape. Hour by hour in the suburb. Ain't no hour by hour. When Babylon the Great gets destroyed by fire, that's it. That's the final hour.
So is heading for your city right now. Convince yourself it's probably nothing. That hesitation is exactly what gets them killed. Your brain is wired to ignore impossible threats, even when the countdown has already.
Normalcy bias. So when it gets sent out that them boys is coming, people ain't gonna know what to do. We're gonna be jumping all through this. I ain't gonna let the whole thing play.
Started. It's called the 7-10 rule. So strap in, grab a notebook, and pick 8:07 a.m. on a Tuesday. The world is possibly 15 minutes away from ending. Suddenly his phone buzzes. A piercing alarm fills the room. David grabs his phone. The screen reads presidential alert.
And when in real life, y'all, when the missiles are coming, remember, by then the mark will be out here. World War III, race riots, Civil War. So we're not going to be living in peaceful times now, right? So-called. We're going to be full-blown in the midst, and the icing on the cake is going to be the missiles, right? So things are going to be a bit more chaotic, if you will, right? According to prophecy. But nonetheless, they're just letting you see, if that alert come through, it's over.
Ballistic missile threat inbound. Seek shelter immediately. This is not a drill. Flash floods and amber alerts. He is.
With 3 smart trim levels to choose from and above par interior, everyone can select their own style and enjoy a great drive. Lease a 2026 Equinox LT for $249 a month. Chevy Detroit. Together, let's drive.
Big chicken energy. Mega chunks of
Protocol binder. Member of his family. Color-coded by priority, naturally. Gary Kowalski, 43, has been preparing for this exact same moment for the better part of a decade. He has a bug-out bag for every member of his family. Color-coded by priority, naturally. He has a hand crank radio, 3 backup generators, freeze-dried meals, and a laminated emergency protocol binder. Gary sees the alert and he's already in motion. He has preloaded his truck with 72 hours of emergency supplies, a tactical flashlight, and a CB radio. He's spent a decade preparing for the day everything falls apart. The problem is, Gary prepared for survival after the collapse, not survival during the first 48 hours. He backs out of his driveway at 8:08 a.m. and he guns it. Meanwhile, David is still on his phone. This is one of the most well-documented psychological phenomena in emergency management research, and it has a name: milling. In the immediate aftermath of a disaster warning, the majority of people don't act. Instead, they gather information, they seek confirmation, and they probably call someone for social proof that the threat is real. In 2018, a real inbound
and now
ballistic.
I wanted to let this play out. Remember this. Remember what happened in Hawaii with the elder brother Yahawah, right? When this actually happens, people don't know what to do. See, people, it's easy to talk and be proud right now while you have the internet up. Bitches talking about if God was real, right? Now, when that message comes through that nuke is coming, now what? What were people doing? Crying, trying to hide under the sewers? Some people just accepted it and was going to sit in their house and drink their tea and die. But what did the brother do? He was crying tears of joy and was praying to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, hoping for salvation. Ain't nowhere to run to. And while he was going live, that video got tens of thousands of streams. And everybody was nervous and shook on there. What's going on? What we do? What's going on? I remember that video, y'all. It's hard to, I'm pretty sure, because that channel got took down, right? But I remember that, and the brother, got through it, and he showed good faith, Come on now. Hey, when this shit hits, if you aren't going up in a chariot, there is no way out.
Missile alert was sent to every phone in Hawaii. Researchers at the University of Georgia studied how people actually responded. Some responded with sheer panic, texting loved ones their last goodbyes, inconsolable emotions, deathbed apologies. But most of the people waffled, trying to determine the truth of the message before acting. 45% of respondents to a survey of how they responded to the message said that they were.
So they're sitting there telling you, scientists ran tests on this. So that would lead me to believe that this was just a purposeful false alarm to see how the people would react. right? We know after the fact they said it was a false alarm, right? But now it seems that they wanted to see how people would react. And the term that they have is millings. Motherfuckers just rolling around looking stupid. Esau's a motherfucker, man. The things they'll do to collect data, boy, I tell you.
Unsure about its credibility. Another 27% disbelieved it outright. Some finished their breakfasts. Others just ignored the message. One man, the study noted, went back to sleep. The alert was live for 38 minutes before it was corrected. In that time, with a genuinely terrifying message on every phone in the state, the dominant human response was basically, sure. The time it took most people to determine whether the alert was credible or not and take some sort of action was about 12 to 15 minutes. That is also, in a real launch, generally the margin between life and death. David has already burned 3 of them. He looks at his phone, then at his kids. His eyes drift back to the kitchen junk drawer. Buried but
They're showing 2 people, David and Gary, right? A guy who hops in his car and tries to go somewhere versus another guy who decides to just hold up in the house. And neither one of these options is going to save you in reality.
takeout menus and a handful of death. Panic fills the air to rural Indiana and his brother-in-law's property about 140 miles west. The gas tank is full and he has energy bars and military MRE ration packs. But what Gary lacks is the protection factor. That's a measurement used by emergency planners to quantify how much a given structure of a vehicle reduces your radiation exposure relative to being protected from a nuclear fallout event as you would be standing in your front yard. The hammering the horn. Gary nervously checks his watch and turns up his CB radio. After grabbing food, water, and a few supplies from the garage, David gets his family into the basement at 8:19 a.m., 12 minutes after the alert. Right on the outer edge of the window where the Hawaii data said most people finally stopped deciding and started acting. He pulls the basement door shut behind them. The room is dark and damp. He switches on his phone's flashlight as the kids climb onto an old couch. David sits beside them. He looks down at bullet point number 2 on the laminated sheet, his hand shaking. Stay below grade. Do not go upstairs for any reason. The danger is invisible. Outside, through a tiny basement window near the ceiling, the sky is completely normal, blue with a few clouds floating aimlessly by. Nothing is happening, or at least nothing visible. Chapter 3, 8:20 a.m. The glass food, though he has no.
I took a page out of your favorite book. You saw.
A car alarm blares somewhere down that once opened turns his flash comes before he can say a word. It's so bright the human brain has no name for it. It lasts all of 4 seconds, and the watch and starts counting. One moment the house is silent, hallway, with one panic. Gary knew he was stuck, that he couldn't make it to his brother-in-law's, so he did.
Gary's through. Gary out of there. Gary stuck in traffic when the nuke go off. He gone.
Did what everyone else did. He got out. People scream and push. Everything freezes. But the preparation is sitting inside. He looks toward the flash. In the basement, David lifts his head.
Now Gary gone ASAP, but over here, they not. You running to your basement ain't gonna save you. But let's do this, y'all. Let's go to Isaiah 34 now. America will be completely upended when the nukes hit. You're not going to be able to get deep enough. The fire is going to run through. That's how, the elites, they're going to be putting their bunkers in different parts of the earth, right? You have to come to that logical conclusion. You read things like Jeremiah 16, right? Though they dig down into the earth, right? Dig into the mountains. Now, people are going to try to go to their bunkers here in the Americas. But they go, hey, baby, this is called the lake of fire for a reason. Everything here is going to be cooking. Everything here is going to be cooking. Isaiah 34. Let's start at verse 9. It says, "And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become a burning pitch." And remember, this is aimed at Edom, right? We see Idumea in verse 5. So we know this is dealing with the modern day land of Edom, not ancient Edom.
The sword of the Lord is filled with...
Not any land over there in the east. We're dealing with the western world where the Edomites rule out of. Great Babylon. Verse 10, "It shall not be quenched day nor night. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever. You're not going to be able to safely wait it out. If you do not get beamed up by a chariot of Israel, you will perish in America, one way or another. That is the grand destiny. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl and the raven, the owl also and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and stones of emptiness. Bingo. So the only thing that's going to be able to survive here after a while are desert creatures who can live in normally inhospitable habitations. And that's after, the land finally cools, however long that takes. Because obviously nothing can live in a molten rock lava type situation. But right here it shows you this place is going to be shooken up and destroyed so bad. The line of confusion. You're not going to know Kentucky from goddamn New York in America anymore. So if you think you're going to be able to safely hide anywhere, especially in your house, buddy, your house is going to be gone. You ain't taking your family to the basement. This ain't the 1960s with them little weak ass atomic bombs. They got the big boys now. And this is the prophecy. Jump down 13, and thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and branches in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be in habitation of dragons and a court for owls. So this is after a time period, desert creatures, right? The wild beast of the desert shall also meet with the beast of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there and find herself a place of rest. There shall a great owl make her nest and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, every one with her mate. So after a time, y'all, once again, the only things that will inhabit Babylon are desert creatures, no man. Alright, so we'll come back a little bit.
He looks toward the flash. In the basement, David lifts his head. He looks at his family, wedged behind the old couch. His daughter Emma clutches her mother tight. David does a rapid visual inventory. There's no injuries or blood, and the water heater is still running. More importantly, the house is still standing. He exhales. The power is out. His bird knows this is just the beginning. Now they have to wait. Chapter 4, 8:23 a.m. The quiet hour. Far enough from the epicenter is undramatic, and that's the trap. There started, it produced smoke. If levels currently drifting toward the Caruso house on a northwestern course at approximately 15 miles.
Today, you don't mind the wait. You've got the all-new Caesars Palace online casino. Hundreds
Drifting toward the Caruso house on a northwestern course at approximately 15 miles an hour. The initial shockwave from the ground burst detonation that hit Columbus blasted massive overpressure across the city. But ground bursts do something else. They suck enormous amounts of dirt, concrete, asphalt, and at this stage that cloud doesn't look like a cloud at all. It looks like nothing, and it's now 11 miles. His daughter doesn't know any of that. She's upstairs. Once, twice, terrified, she sees them. A fist slams against the wall.
So somebody got caught outside, a neighbor, she trying to beat to get in. Ain't gonna be none of that, right? They're trying to wait it out in the basement till the radiation goes away. And if that, you're not going to be able to wait long enough. You'll starve out and die and exhaust all your resources if this were possible. But this isn't even an imaginable scenario for what's coming to America. Nonetheless, Esau, they always love to try to believe that they're going to have some sort of great plan that'll outdo what the scriptures say. Nah, homie. You there? You dead.
Window. Please. Another slam. David feels his stomach drop. Every instinct tells him to let her in. He can't. He takes his son's hand and he turns him away. One last bang against the glass, and then silence. The bomb isn't what kills most people. What kills most people in a situation like this is leaving too early. This is the 7-10 rule. It's the part nobody talks about because it requires sitting still and doing
the 7-10 rule. Yep, this is what I wanted to so let's see what the 7-10 rule is, and let's see if it helps.
Nothing. It works like this. For every 7-fold increase in time after detonation, the radiation dose rate drops by a factor of 10. At 7 hours, the dose rate outside is 1/10 of what it was at hour 1. At 49 hours, it's 100th, which means time itself becomes a weapon against the fallout. Every hour, David and his family remain sheltered behind layers of concrete, wood, insulation, and earth dramatically reduces the dose they.
All right, I'm gonna finish with this last little thing, the 7-10 rule, right? And then I'm gonna get one more scripture. That'll be about it. Got to get the workday started. You know, hey, if you don't go up in a chariot, you aren't surviving this. This is plain as day.
They absorb. By the 48-hour mark, a properly sheltered survivor may have received only a tiny fraction of the radiation dose suffered by someone exposed outside during the same 2 days. The math is not complicated. It's actually one of the more straightforward mathematical propositions David has encountered in his career as an IT manager. The math simply requires 48 hours in the basement. And that's the hard part. David glances down to bullet point 5. 48 hours minimum, 24 hours absolute minimum.
So that's not going to help you. Waiting 48 hours in your basement after the nukes go off is not going to help anybody. Revelation 17, I want to get this, and we'll close it out. Revelation 17, and I'm going to start right at it, 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." America is going to be completely burned and consumed with fire. It doesn't say that you're going to be able to wait it out here. That's not mentioned anywhere. Matter of fact, let's do this. One more again. Yep. Revelation 20 and 14. I'll just read right here. "And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire." This is the second death, right? Esau, Edom, his empire, his power will be through, and it will be thrown down by fire, right? He's also likened unto death and hell in Habakkuk as well. He has a never-ending quench for consumption, right? And his empire, his power will be absolutely abolished as the missiles touch down and the mix of the chariot fire. And that's another thing, right? The chariots are going to be involved, and they're intelligent. You think they can't strike hard enough to blow through somebody's basement? Come on now, you're not about to. This isn't Fallout like the video game. You aren't about to go into a bunker and wait it out and come up and there's super mutants running around and you have a German Shepherd with you. None of that shit. If you are in America and you are not of the elect, destined to be beamed up, what is your destiny? Verse 15. "And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire." A lake of fire. That's what's going to happen. So if you're not written in the book of salvation, you're going to be destroyed in it. That's it. That's all, folks. There's no waiting it out. All right, I'm going to give all praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rakakurash, the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect, Akim wa Akwa, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom.